Broadcasting to you from the heart of northern Minnesota, this is the best music-oriented podcast and web series on all of YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Roger Radio Show. I am Roger Radio. And guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm flying solo again. My co-host Aegis decided to be a little bitch as always and not show up, so at the end of the day, I have a job to do for all of you, the viewer and listener. So, we're gonna get into it for today's legit album review. First things first, it is a beautiful day, and I need some caffeine bad, man. I don't know about you. So I figured, because of today, because I'm riding solo today, I'd figure I'd treat myself to a really good podcast. And I'll be honest, people, I am very excited for today's episode, man. We all know what the album obviously is going to be. I kind of dropped the hint at the beginning. We are going to review today none other than Blue Oyster Cult's 1976 album, Agents of Fortune. And I will be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, this is such a masterpiece. Oh my God, what did I listen to? Now, I haven't ever listened to the whole entire album prior to this review. Blasphemous of me, I know. But after listening to it, oh my God, there is not one single bad song on this album. Just like with my all-time favorite Blue Oyster Cult album, Imaginos, Agents of Fortune got some really killer banging tunes, man. Some really good stuff. There was not a single song that was skippable. This is a great album that you can listen to from beginning to end. I don't really have a whole lot to say. I'm going to save the opinions of the music when I get into them. But first, let's cut the shit and get right into it. Agents of Fortune was released on May 21st, 1976. Yeah, it's the 50-year anniversary, ladies and gentlemen, and I really wanted to do this review, so we are here, and we're going to enjoy the living fuck out of it. It was recorded from 1975 to 1976. There is no concrete information about the months or days, so if any of you would have any idea of it, leave it in the comments below. It was recorded at none other than The Record Plant in New York City, a very well-known studio in its own right. The genres were hard rock and heavy metal, released by none other than the Columbia Records. And I'll be honest with you, folks, I'm not sure which record companies are like the best to be assigned to, but some reason I always feel that Columbia is like the de facto one that everyone wants to get into. Maybe not. I'm sure all of them are good, but some reason with Columbia, you know, with them having the likes of Pink Floyd and a lot of other iconic musicians, Columbia kind of feels like a safe bet for me, honestly. It was produced by a three-man team. We had Murray Krugman, Sandy Pearlman, and David Lucas. Now, Sandy Pearlman, I would consider like the sixth man of Blue Oyster Cult. Oh, he was a close friend of Albert Bouchard, obviously, and the poetic stuff that Sandy Pearlman has written obviously really helped Blue Oyster Cult a whole lot, because if any of you have understood or looked more deep into Blue Oyster Cult's lyrics, they really have a lot of good science fiction stuff, gothic stuff. You know, it basically is like a band that if Edgar Allan Poe was alive, he would probably have been fully influenced for his story writing, or maybe the other way around. It doesn't say that Blue Oyster Cult was influenced by Edgar Allan Poe, but it feels like Edgar Allan Poe would be a big influence to Blue Oyster Cult. So, this album here, obviously, let me take a look quick here, if I may. Yeah, this album, they released the Secret Treaties in 1974. There isn't a whole lot to say, at least for the backstory of how this album came to be made, but this is without a doubt one of their best selling works right here. It did really, really good here. Here, All American Music gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. The Collector's Guide to Heavy Metal gave it 10 out of 10 stars. The Encyclopedia of Popular Music it gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The Great Rock Discography gave it an 8 out of 10 rating. Mojo gave it 5 stars. Music Hound Rock gave it 5 stars. Music Story gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The Rolling Stone Album Guide gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Tom Hull on the web gave it an A grade, and the Village Voice gave it a B plus grade. And I don't know why I wanted to say rating or rank. Oops. Rolling Stone declared and wrote that Agents of Fortune is a startling, excellent album. Startling because one does not expect Blue Oyster Cult to sound like this. Loud but calm, manic but confident, melodic but rocking. Cashbox said of the single This Ain't the Summer of Love that growling guitars churn out the realistic message with brief and poignant expression. A mood of evil created in a humorous fashion. That is true. That is absolutely true. Ooh, considering the stuff that Blue Oyster Cult has put it into their music, it makes a whole lot of sense. That's the one thing I like about Blue Oyster Cult is that they have their own unique style to what they do for their music. You know, like you gotta stick with your themes at times. You know, like with progressive rock, for example, and with King Crimson, for one, they have like a certain storytelling that they do with their music, especially their earlier works, you know, like In the Core of the Crimson King or In the Wake of Poseidon or Lizard. Those, for example, for what defined King Crimson with their sound and storytelling and lyricism. And Pink Floyd's another good example. They have all their stuff talking about the realities of life with their conceptual pieces, and it's what defines who they are. Blue Oyster Cult has their own stuff with this. Alrighty. Alright, the Yuga, it peaked at number 26 on the UK albums chart and at number 29 on the US Billboard 200. So even then, I would say, like, if you're in the top 30 for the US Billboard 200, that's very good. I would say it's satisfying enough. The album was certified gold in Canada with 50,000 copies, and in the United States, it's certified platinum with 1 million copies. So if you could have a good selling album that gets you platinum status, you're good to go. The album would get several accolades too. In 1976, it was ranked at number 10 on the 1976 Pass and Job Critics poll by the Village Voice. That same year, it was ranked at number 6 for Albums of the Year from the UK's NME. In 1981, it was ranked at number 12 on the Best of the Album Chart Makers by Year, 1976, by none other than Dave Marsh and Kevin Stein. It was ranked at number 62 in 1989 on the Greatest Heavy Metal Albums of All Time by none other than Kerrang! A really good publication. And there's no order for its ranking, but in 2004, it was considered the greatest, one of the greatest classic rock albums ever by Q. Now, before we continue and get into the music, ladies and gentlemen, I got a little show and tell for y'all. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, this masterpiece right here. This is my dad's original vinyl copy. And this was one of the albums that I inherited, but you gotta admit, that's pretty styling. If we take a look at the artwork right here, you will see this was done by Lynn Curley, according to the Wikipedia page. I'll include everything in the description below. This artwork was created by her. It depicts the Belgian magician named Servais Leroy, and he's holding what looks like 4 tarot cards, essentially in mediocre terms. These are basically poker cards he was holding, but they don't have the poker shit on it. And it the artwork continues to the backside right here, if any of you can see that. Yep, that looks pretty good. I'm trying to see myself, folks. And then once we get to the inside, you pretty much see the whole band right there. You know, they are essentially playing a roulette in a casino, but instead of in a casino, it looks like the moon right there, and then you could see the planet Earth right there. There, that's all five of the members who I consider probably the best lineup for Blue Oyster Cult. We got Eric Bloom, Buck Dharma, or Donald Roser, but he goes by Buck Dharma, Alan Lanier, Joe Bouchard, and Albert Bouchard. All right, so that's pretty good to say the least. And I think as for the sleeve, there's nothing really special about the sleeve right here for this vinyl. And when we look inside, there's nothing really special about this either. You'd figure they would have added Survey Leroy on it, but that's not the case. All in all, a masterpiece. Now that we have gotten into all of the information that's needed, we're going to get right into it. So let's get into this. I just got to make sure I load everything that I need here, make sure that all my music's muted because I don't need to get copyrighted, you know? Oh, wait, actually, I want to listen to the music in case, so. You guys will not be able to hear it, thankfully. Last thing I need is to get copyrighted or get sued for stealing their shit, you know? Make sure I got my notes here. I will include all the information in the description below, as well as some of the info that I got from genius.com and from good old Wikipedia. You know, gotta rely on Wikipedia, right? So the first song that we are going to start with is This Ain't the Summer of Love. Now, I gotta be honest with you, this song just gets you going right away. It kicks you in the nuts, and it gives you also a slap in the face if need be. I really like the overall sound of it, especially with the sinister guitar going playing at the beginning. This is probably one of the most sinister openings for an album I've heard. And then when you listen to the lead singer, the vocalist who sang this, which was Eric Bloom, he actually sounds more like Mick Jagger. I don't know if this song was influenced by early Rolling Stones music or not, but here's what Genius said about of the song. The song would end up inspiring Swallow My Pride by pioneering grunge band Green River. The music is basically a hard rock song, which makes sense. It references the Summer of Love, organized by marketers to cash in on the hippie movement in 1967. Now, if I'm sure there's a whole lot of you out there who know about what went on in 1967 with all the LSD, the excess, and not to mention all the psychedelic rock that was going on. Like, it was such a huge countercultural movement back then, especially when we had so much going on with like the civil rights movement was still going. You had the Vietnam War that everyone was strongly objecting to and opposing to. And the hippie movement, I felt, was like that exact counteraction that was needed, especially at a time when this, remember, this was a year before a very divisive, strongly divisive period in American history that we saw in 1968. So it pretty much was what I would call the definitiveness of getting all the ammunition needed, and then we see what happened next year. No pun intended. And to all the Vietnam vets out there. Like, there was something about this song with the overall sound and how Eric Bloom sang on it. It was so perfect. It only lasted for 2 minutes, but it was, or over 2 minutes, but it's still worth a listen. I'm definitely adding it to my list for downloaded shit. Here's what the lyrics say. Feeling easy on the outside, but not so funny on the inside. Feel the sound, pray for rain, 'cause this is the night we ride. This ain't the Garden of Eden, there ain't no angels above, and things ain't what they used to be, and this ain't the summer of love. Well, we're in summertime right now. It's not 1967, it's 2026, so we're like 59 years off. Lock all your doors from the outside, the key will dangle by the inside. You may begin to understand that this is the night we ride. This ain't the Garden of Eden, there ain't no angels above, and things ain't like what they used to be, and this ain't the summer of love, the summer of love. On the night we ride, this ain't the summer of love. On the night we ride, this ain't the summer of love. On the night we ride, this ain't the summer of love. On the night we ride, this ain't the summer of love. This ain't the Garden of Eden, there ain't no angels above, and things aren't what they used to be, and this ain't. This ain't the Garden of Eden, there ain't no angels above, and things aren't what they are supposed to be, and this ain't the summer. This ain't the summer. This ain't the summer of love. All in all, this is such a good opening track. This is so appropriate to have here for an opening track, especially when you're a Blue Oyster Cult fan. You want that one song that really drives you in immediately, and they did perfect with this song. So, bravo, BOC, bravo. So next up we have is none other than True Confessions. And let's see. It has that jazzy, bluesy like sound that sounded perfect. Like I don't think they were influenced by the Rolling Stones' bluesy roots, but it really sounds perfect. Like it gives you that nice hit the brake a little bit approach for the opening of the album. It was let's see here. Wrong page. It was sung by Alan Lanier, and here's what Genius said about it. True Confessions talks about Alan Lanier's relationship with none other than the one and only Patti Smith. The song is known for its fantastic keyboard line and for the first Lanier participation on lead vocals in an official album, who has for the longest time been the band's keyboardist. Blue Oyster Cult never played this song live and will never play, owing to the death of Alan Lanier, who passed away a few years ago. God rest his soul. The only Agents of Fortune charted song is the next song that will be coming up. And so, because of this song that we will be talking about, True Confessions never entered any chart. Now, I'll be honest with you. You'd figure like Patti Smith was a huge name in the 70s with all of the music that she was releasing, especially with her album Horses, which is considered her magnum opus. You'd figure that with this song, talking about her and whatnot, she would like kind of help that song kind of peak a little bit in the charts, but that's not the case here. So the keyboard was really perfect. You'd figure that with Blue Oyster Cult being the hard rock band that they are, you'd figure like who would play keyboards or piano in hard rock or even, hard rock, heavy metalish like music. Well, they were able to pull it off somehow, and it worked. It really, really worked. Here are the lyrics right here. True confessions, I lied. True confessions, I lied. Spent all night with Candy's eyes. Dragged myself across the warm blind side. Spent all night with Candy's eyes. Dragged myself across the warm blind side. True confession, she cried. True confession, she cried. Stand in the doorway in a jealous rage. Drag myself across her wild terrain. Stand in the doorway in a jealous rage. Drag myself across her wild terrain. We're never sorry. We're never sad. We're modern lovers. What fun we had. True confessions we tried. True confessions we tried. Naked, exposed like fine rock and roll. Perfect as strangers, imperfect as love. Naked, exposed like fine rock and roll. Perfect as strangers, imperfect as love. We're never sorry, we're never sad, we're modern lovers. What fun we had. That's almost true in this so called relationship I was in. And the gal that I was somewhat romantically involved with, she always grew very hostile or jealous every time she would see me talking to other women. Even after I ended it all, she would still get very fucking jealous every time I was talking to other women. I mean, there was an incident that happened last year that was like that. I tried talking to her current boyfriend, who I considered my best friend, and he thought I was making up shit. And I was like, oh, okay. And instead of trying to talk to him more about it, I immediately blocked him. I realized that she fucking poisoned him against me. Like, she is very, very fucking poisonous, you know? Like, all I can say is, like, like, my former friend, he's gotta get rid of her, man. Like, she's gonna fucking destroy his life. She's gonna poison him against everyone. One, he needs to get out. All in all, this is a really good song here. The next song that we are going to get into, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than their biggest hit that they ever released. The song that made this album what it is. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about Don't Fear the Reaper. The song sounded great, but I could have used a little more cowbell. Let's get into it. What is there to say about this song that has not been said, dude? You hear that great intro there. Damn it, give me a second, folks. Some reason it ain't going. Okay, I just figured it out. I had to unmute my computer itself. I hope you guys were able to hear me. Either way, if you guys didn't hear me at that part, I said, what's there to not say about this song? The intro is perfect. The cowbell, obviously. The lyrics. Around the 240 mark, I heard some reason the instrumentation made this sound like they went full Egyptian. You know what I mean? But if you listen to the song, I mean, why am I saying if you guys heard this? Of course you all fucking heard this song. This is a huge staple in classic rock radio, man. This I would consider Blue Oyster Cult's greatest music achievement right here is with this song, dude. It's such a catchy tune, man. Man, I remember growing up hearing this song and it was fucking rocking, dude. You know what I mean? Let's take a look at what this says on Genius, shall we? This 1978 hit's meaning led to great discussions by many fans. While written with the thoughts of the inevitability of death and dying, young people young on the lyricist's mind, he staunchly insisted that his theme was eternal love. The Rolling Stone magazine named it the Song of the Year in 1976, although it would only reach number 12 in the charts. It also served as the basis of this famous SNL skit featuring Will Ferrell and Christopher Walken. And we're going to get to that in a moment. We're going to get into that soon, folks. So stay tuned. This is the only song that has a Wikipedia page. I will include it in the description below. Here's what it says. The song was released as a single in July of 1976. It was recorded in 1975. The genres were hard rock, psychedelic rock, and soft rock. It was released by Columbia Records. Donald Buck Darmo Roser was the songwriter. The producers were David Lucas, Murray Krugman, and Sandy Pearlman. Now, Let's see here. Critical reception was really positive, and in December 2003, Don't Fear the Reaper was listed at number 405 on Rolling Stone's list of the top 500 songs of all time, and deservingly so. Let's see here. The song was on the Billboard Hot 100 charts for 20 weeks, reaching number 12 for the weeks of November 6th and November 13th, 1976. It was the band's highest charting U.S. song and helped Agents of Fortune reach number 29 on the Billboard 200. Don't Fear the Reaper charted even higher in Canada, peaking at number 7. The single edit was released in the UK in July of 76, but failed to chart. The unedited album version was released as a single in May of 78, where it reached number 16 on the UK singles chart. The song would receive critical acclaim. Record World said that an 8 miles high guitar line is complemented by smooth vocals. Denise Sullivan of AllMusic praised the song's gentle vocals and virtuoso guitar. The haunting middle break, which delivers the listener straight back to the heart of the song once the thunder is finished. Nathan Beckett called it the band's masterpiece and compared the vocals to the Beach Boys. Writing for Pop Matters, James Mann called it a landmark genre-defining masterpiece that was as grand and emotional as American rock and roll ever got. Pitchfork also called the song a masterpiece. In 2020, Classic Rock wrote the song remained one of the most instantly recognizable tracks in the whole genre, and it continues to turn up in surprising places even today. And that is true. That is true. It peaked at number 16 in the UK singles chart and number 12 on the US Billboard Hot 100. It also peaked at number 9 from 2017 to 2025 in the US Hot Rock and May Alternative Singles Billboard chart. It is certified platinum in the United Kingdom with 600,000 copies sold. And in the United States, it is certified 6 times platinum with 6 million copies sold. It's amazing. It is fucking amazing. All right, let's see here. In 1976, Rolling Stone named Don't Fear the Reaper the Song of the Year, and in 2004, the magazine placed the song number 397th on its list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. There was something else that was said that I said earlier on the page that's completely different from what I'm seeing here, but I'll let you guys take a look for yourselves. The 2010 version of the list moved it down to 405. Okay. In 1997, Mojo listed the song as the 80th best single of all time, while Q ranked it 404th in its 2003 countdown of the 1001 best songs ever. When The Guardian released its unranked list of 1,000 songs everyone must hear, in 2009 the song was included, and rightfully so. The publication wrote that the song's charm lies in the disjunctive between its gothic storyline and the sprightly Birdsian guitar line that carries it. In his book, The Heart of Rock and Soul, the 1001 greatest singles ever made, rock critic Dave Marsh ranked it at 997th. And with how great it did, it deservingly needs all of that. It deserves all of that accolade stuff. It's fucking amazing, dude. So according to the background story here, the song is about the inevitability of death and the foolishness of fearing it. The singer and lead guitarist Buck Dharma, as we will call him because that's his stage name, he wrote it while thinking about what would happen if he died at a young age. He used Romeo and Juliet as a prime example of a couple who wanted to be together in the afterlife. He guessed that 40,000 men and women died each day, and the figure was used several times in the lyrics, but it is about 100,000 too low. Lyrics such as Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity led many listeners to interpret the song was about a murder-suicide pact. Dharma said he was appalled that some listeners interpreted the song as encouraging suicide. He instead meant the lyrics as a plea not to fear death, as opposed to actively bringing it about. Instead, that Instead, it was a love song where the love transcends the actual physical existence of the partners. Now, I personally do not believe it's talking about murder suicide or making a murder suicide pact. I don't believe that for a single bit. There's a lot of people that I'm sure think of it as that, but that's not true at all. There is no recollection or connection between the two at all. Oh, it's he just used Romeo and Juliet as a reference. And even then, people always say that Romeo and Juliet always has connections to making murder suicide pacts, but it's just a story. It's just a story in the end of the day. All in all, this is still a masterpiece in its own right. Even despite the accusations that were made here, it still holds up even to this day. 50 years later, it still fucking holds up. Now, we're obviously now going to get more into what I'm sure all of you are thinking. Give me a moment here. My shit's loading for some reason. There we go. Fixed it. Now, we all know we're going to get to this right here. The famous Saturday night skit of More Cowbell. From season 25 in 2000, they do a skit about Blue Oyster Cult and the producing and creation of Don't Fear the Reaper itself, which is still among the greatest SNL skits ever. We got the likes of Christopher Walken, who was hosting SNL that day, Will Ferrell, who really stole the show with his character Gene Frankel. Oh, and with the Cowbell Man. They also had the likes of Chris Kattan, Chris Parnell, Horatio Sands, and the Jimmy Fallon on it. It is so funny as hell, man. The skit is amazing as hell. I'm going to include a link to the skit in the description below. I would love to watch it right now, but I don't need to get sued by fucking NBC, so. Every time, man, every time I've listened to it's because of this fucking skit that every time I was listening to it, I was like, guys, we need more fucking Cowbell. And during my old Halloween specials, when I was on the radio, I would always start the second part of my radio shows with Don't Fear the Reaper, because a lot of people always say that in addition to it being their biggest hit, it's also considered a staple for if you're listening to music on Halloween. It's like a Halloween theme. And every time I started the second part of my show, because I was doing 3-hour intervals, the second hour I would be like, and guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more Cowbell. And I would turn the song on immediately, just sit back and just be like this. All the good times indeed, folks. Such a masterpiece. All right, so enough babbling from me now. Let's get into the lyrics here. Just need to quickly check something here. Oh, excuse me. All righty. All our times have gone here, but now they're gone. Okay, wait! Bruce, I'm sorry, could you come in here for a second, please? Had to do that. That's all. Every time they were starting it, they would keep fucking interrupting, man, you know? I think the third part was the funniest one out of all of them. And then you have Christopher Walken. Fellas, you know, we just wasted how many tracks so far? I'm telling you guys, you're going to need that Cowbell for the track, you know? All right. All our times have come here, but now they're gone. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain. We could be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. We'll be able to fly. Don't fear the reaper. I'm your man. La 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 la. Valentine is done. Here, but now they're gone. Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. Romeo and Juliet. 40,000 men and women every day, like Romeo and Juliet. 40,000 men and women every day. Redefine happiness. Another 40,000 coming every day. We can be like they are. Come on, baby. Don't fear the Reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the Reaper. We'll be able to fly. Don't fear the Reaper. Baby, I'm your man. La 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 la. Love of two is one. Here, but now they're gone. Came to the last night of sadness. I honestly thought that they said like a Spanish city or a Mexican city right here, or even San Andreas. You know, came the last night of San Andreas. That's what I thought I heard, but I did not even hear sadness. But anyway, and it was clear she couldn't go on. The door was open and the wind appeared. The candles blew and then disappeared. The curtains flew and then he appeared, saying, "Don't be afraid. Come on, baby." And she had no fear, and she ran to him. Then they started to fly. They looked backward and said goodbye. She might become like they are. She had taken his hand. She had become like they are. Come on, baby. Don't fear the Reaper. All in all, this song is a masterpiece, and rightfully so. And if any of you out there have never listened to Blue Oyster Cult, and if you need a song that you need to start with, do yourself a favor and listen to Don't Fear the Reaper, all right? Start with that. Next up we have is E.T.I, Extraterrestrial Intelligence. What can I say about the instrumentation on it? It sounds like if I'm in a bar in the West, right? And the rest is history, so to speak. I do love the guitar hooks on here. And yeah, it's another great piece right here in its own right. It essentially is a great complimentary song to listen to right after Don't Fear the Reaper, you know? Just give me a quick moment. Oh, crap. Tried to minimize my stuff, but I can't. Just need to quickly find something here that I need to look at. Okay, I see what I was trying to do here. I was trying to see how many more songs I should do and then do my next and then do a quick break. So we'll do two more songs and then we're gonna go right on to break here. Yep, great song indeed right here. And you know what? They had to say extraterrestrial intelligence. I wonder if that is the aliens equivalent of the Central Intelligence Agency. Coincidence, folks? I think not. Anyway, let's read up on what it says on Genius. Oh, wrong wiki, wrong Microsoft doc. Here we go. E.T.I, along with the Tattoo Vampire, is the music that brings the pure rock and roll spirit to the album. Originally, it was an instrumental track titled No Traffic. It was tried with different lyrics by none other than Sandy Pearlman, titled Punishment Park. It may have even had a vocal track by Sandy and Joe Bouchard titled Despot Soup before using the current lyrics. That's all there is. There's really no meaning behind the song. But I figured, like, if they would have added so much more and talk about, you know, the themes of, like, Area 51 or whatever, or actually, on the other hand, I should take that back. People probably didn't fucking know what Area 51 is back then. Or maybe if they said something about, like, the famous Roswell crash of 1947 and all the UFOs that were being seen in the late 40s, early 50s, you know, it could have added a lot more meaning for the song here. Here's what it says. I hear the music, daylight disc. 3 men in black said, don't report this. Well, guess what? What the fuck are you gonna do, Men in Black? Nothing. You're gonna have to pop, pop, pop. Ascension, and that's all they said. Sickness now, the hour's dread. All praise, he's found the awful truth of Baltazar. He's found the saucer news. In reference to the UFO. I'm in fairy rings and tower beds. Don't report this, three men said. Books by the blameless and by the dead. I almost said dread. Oops. King in yellow, queen in red. Shouldn't it technically be king in blue, queen in pink? All praise, he's found the awful truth, Baltazar. He's found the saucer news. Dead leaves always give up motion. I no longer feel the motion where prophecy fails the falling motion. Don't report this, agents of fortune. Ha! They name dropped their title. They name dropped their album title. All praise, he's found the awful truth, Baltasar. He's found the saucer news. If this wasn't coffee, I'd be dumping it everywhere. All in all, it's another good tune. It's like with track two. It hit that you just touch the brake a little bit, slow down a bit when you're rocking and rolling, and be like, oh yeah, I can enjoy this. Sit here like, ah. So next up we got is The Revenge of Vera Gemini for the next track. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this song, but this is actually probably one of my top favorite songs here. And it also includes a special guest appearance by none other than Patti Smith, who at the time was dating Alan Lanier. So it just seemed appropriate that she would be on here. The only thing is that Alan Lanier wasn't on this song or sang in this song. Instead, it was Albert Bouchard who sang on this. But I could have imagined if they would have had Alan Lanier be put on this and then put Albert Bouchard on whatever else. I feel that it would have worked more, but Albert Bouchard, he still sounded fantastic in this. Just the way that Patti Smith, was singing in silhouette to Albert Bouchard's lyrics, that was what I really loved. And the sound of the song here, the music, it had that James Bond espionage-esque stuff to it, and that's what I liked. Just imagine if they would have had this as like a soundtrack song for Pulp Fiction or even Austin Powers films. Like, oh, dude, it would have been so perfect, But all in all, this is a great tune right here. I really loved it. All right, let's see here. All right, here we go. Yep, no, it just says that all it says for Genius is the female voice in this song is that of pop star Patti Smith, who actually wrote all the lyrics. Like, she wrote it all herself. She, of course, was dating Alan Lanier of Blue Oyster Cult at the time. That's all there is. There's no meaning behind it. But it does feel like, yeah, it could have worked for their relationship, Let's see here. It says, and I quote, "You're the kind of girl I like to find, a face like an angel, but you're born like the devil. Your eyes had shifted from me. Everyone saw what you did. Oh, really? If you didn't see me, do it, I'm innocent. So fuck you. You're absent from beneath me, like a false and nervous squid. No more horses. We're gonna swim like a fish into the hole in which you plan to ditch me. My lovely Vera Marie, you plan to leave me cold, but you'll never get your wish. On the 24th of May, I'll gather up your reins. You fill me with vengeance. You touch me with your breath. I'm gonna pull you from this dance. You're gonna ride so easily. Oh, no more horses. We're gonna swim like a fish into the hole in which you plan to ditch me. My lovely Vera Marie." Oh no, no, oh no more horses, horses. We're gonna swim like a fish into the hole in which you planned to ditch me, my lovely Vera Marie. I was your victim. I was well received, but hell's built on regret, and I loved your naked neck. Every lie that you told me could make me believe you're two-faced. Just two faces have you, and they're both gonna go. Oh, no more horses, horses. We're gonna swim like a fish into the hole in which you plan to ditch me, my lovely Vera Marie. All in all, I really liked this song. I think I would say this is probably number 3 on my favorites, but we will get into that when we get into it. So, all right. So right before we continue on, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna take a quick break. I need to give my throat a chance to breathe a little bit. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Smoke them if you got them, or even turn on Agents of Fortune and vibe to it. Do it. I don't fucking care. I don't know what you people do. Anyway, I'll just be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last few months since I started this podcast and YouTube channel, I've been preaching a whole lot about how rock and roll is the one true music genre to listen to. That's because it's the only good music out there. And obviously, I have a strong hatred for adult contemporary and pop music. I believe it's the greatest crime against humanity since the Holocaust. And I don't know why, ladies and gentlemen, had to buy these, obviously, because it's music related. Selena Gomez Oreo cookies. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would you buy these, Roger? Because I'm pathetic and I'm asking for help! Alright, let's see what we got here. It's almost like the Post Malone Oreo cookie here. Cheers. Be sure to go follow me on all my social media today to stay updated on when I upload. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Roger Radio Show. I, as always, am yours truly, the Bruce Dickinson. And I gotta tell you, folks, Blue Oyster Cult's got what appears to be a dynamite sound, you know? And obviously, this is so far becoming a good, legit album review. And we are still covering Blue Oyster Cult's best work, Agents of Fortune. So we're going to get back into it. We've talked about the first of 5 songs. We are now going to continue on with their next track, which is Sinful Love. Well, all love is always sinful, you know? This is another good tune, man. Especially when they're doing the chorus, it's amazing. Like, I'm not sure how else to really describe it. It's such a good tune. I think I would probably make this, or put this at number 4 on my favorite songs, you know? It's just perfect, man. It has that certain rhythm to it that I really like. Alright, let's see what we got here. Sinful Love is a catchy song, remembered because of its chorus background vocals, which is really good. The song looks like to talk about love, but it speaks about drug addiction too. I could see that. Just imagine if they had David Bowie doing lyrics with this, and considering that he released Station to Station early that year, it would make sense to bring the Thin White Duke in as a special guest. Let's get back into it. Here are what the lyrics say. You're over my shoulder, I think I'm possessed. Your constant undertone is making me toothless. Time's come to trim, you gonna get out of my knife. Gonna cut you, baby, out of my life. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. I love you like sin, but I won't be your pigeon. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. I love you like sin, but I won't be your pigeon. The power that I give you, I'm so sick of your voice. In my body, you don't give me no choice. But to boot you, honey, to give you, he shove. So take back your despot, I'll keep the love. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. I love you like sin, but I won't be your pigeon. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. I love you like sin, but I won't be your pigeon. I'm searching my symbols, looking for a pistol. To laser you out, it looks like a keyhole. I'll just stick my key back, seamless and whole. No more idols, got my own self-control. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. I love you like sin, but I won't be your pigeon. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. I love you like sin, but I won't be your pigeon. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. I love you like sinful love. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. I love you like a sinful love. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. I love you like sinful love. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. I love you like sinful love. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. I love you like sinful love. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. I love you like sinful love. Daredevil, she-devil, printer's devil, evil. All in all, it's such a great tune, and you know what? Man, let's just say I dabbled a little bit in sinful love myself. Love, it doesn't matter, no matter how you say it, when adultery or cheating on your spouse is involved, that's sinful love right there. And then, of course, when you have the drugs and all the excess, what do you expect? Ugh. Alright, let's continue on, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get into Tattoo Vampire. Now, this song right here was the B track to Don't Fear the Reaper. Another good tune in its own right. Let's see here. It's the song for me honestly sounds like if you're on a car chase, you know? Like it's so fast paced, you know, really fast and yeah, I like music like that. I really do. Dude, it's something that would be perfect for complete utter chaos. God damn it. Okay, I might as well exit out of that. There we go. Alrighty. So, according to Genius, the song was originally called Tattooed Vampire. Tattooed Vampire, Agents of Fortune soundtrack, is the B-side of Don't Fear the Reaper. And that's it. There's nothing more to it. There's no meaning behind it or whatnot. Let's just say I work night shifts at my night job, and of course I do have this right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I guess you could say I'm kind of a tattoo vampire. Pun intended, bitches. Alrighty. I went down last night with a tattoo madam to a nude dagger fantasy domain. Wrapped in hell, I lost my breath, just a stimulating Chinese breast. Grisly smiles that don't flake off, corny colored demons leering, vampire photos sucking the skin. Seating the night at the inker's parlor, flash a perma brand pricked for $1. Her wrist surreal, a heart and flying skull. Lettered life and love pass swiftly. Grisly smiles that don't flake off, corny colored demons leering, vampire photos sucking the skin. Wouldn't have it made more sense if they added this song right here to the films From Dusk Till Dawn? If any of you think that, let me know in the comments. Give the song a listen and then you tell me that this does not look like it should be on fucking From Dusk Till Dawn. This here's another good tune in its own right called Morning Final. And if you listen to the lyrics very closely, the music sounds kind of a little sad, but still has that up rock and rollish charm to it. This is based off of a real life experience that actually happened. It says Morning Final is the first Agents of Fortune ballad after Don't Fear the Reaper. The song is actually talking about a true murder that Blue Oyster Cult member Joe Bouchard witnessed. It does. I cannot imagine how he must have felt during that. I tried so hard to look up any information I could find, but unfortunately, I couldn't find anything about it. So I really can't tell you much more about it than I can. So, oh, but it really sounds good though. The song sounds good, even though it sounds very dark, you know. And then when you hear the last 20 seconds, it pretty much you hear a subway train, rolling by and whatnot. Not I honestly thought by hearing that they were gonna have it transition into another song with no stop, and have it flow into the next. But nope, didn't do that. They did not do that at all. Here are the lyrics. He cast a grim shadow through the busy street, said he was a junkie, and he punctured his walk with a gun. Motiveless murder, the papers scream. The cops all sound. The crowd was iced by the sight. Oh, baby, don't it make you feel so bad? Dark clouds are over the street. After what I read, I can hardly feel my heartbeat. Oh, baby, don't it make you feel so bad? Dark clouds are over the street after what I read. I can hardly feel my heartbeat. Down the subway stairs after him they leapt, an echo snap and scream of fire. The pursuit was done for the last time he felt the light and gave up his last fight. Oh, baby, don't it make you feel so bad? Dark clouds are over the street after what I read. I can hardly feel my heartbeat. Paper, paper, extra. Man killed in subway, no motive for it. Extra, read all about it. Paper, police say no motive for murder in subway. Paper, read all about it. Paper, mister. So I think if I fully understand what happened, Joe Bouchard, I think, based on the lyrics, he was in the subway when there was like these other people, and this one guy ended up just killing this other guy outright. Even then, I actually can't help but wonder if that murders ever was solved. Because, like I said, I literally could not for the life of me find any information about this. I don't know if Joe Bouchard has ever spoken fully in depth about it. I don't know. I didn't read or watch or try to find any interviews, But all in all, despite this song sounding good, the backstory is just heartbreaking, I still even cannot even imagine how he must have felt when he saw what he saw, seeing another person's life being taken away right in front of him, you know. Beyond sad indeed. This next song right here is simply called Tenderloin. And before you ask, it's not singing about having beef tenderloins or anything like that, even though tenderloins sound really good right now, I'll be honest with you. No, the guitar work on this is really good. It has that catchiness to it, Really good song. I wouldn't say this is exactly one of their strongest songs. I would probably say it's their weakest one, but I still enjoyed it, Like, I probably won't re listen to this song, but if it's there, I'll listen to it, I mean, hell, there's like a couple songs from their album Imaginos that I really don't care about, but I'll listen to them in spite of it anyway, so. All right. Here's what it says on Genius. Tenderloin is the ninth track of Agents of Fortune and the third ballad. In general, it talks about cocaine. A tenderloin's the best cut of coke you can buy. And some people say that talks about prostitutes too. So it's the real meaning of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And you know what, folks? That is true. Rock and roll is all about the sex, the drugs, the excess, you name it. And from what I've learned too during my radio years, my radio career, which was wrongfully taken from me by those fucking cocksuckers I worked with, it actually can bleed into radio DJs like myself as well, you know? They just could. Those fucking idiots couldn't understand that, so. Yeah, not saying I ever did drugs. The only thing that I've been guilty of doing is just marijuana, and that's it. And even then, like I cannot hit those THC vapes that a lot of teenagers or young adults are taking because every time when I take those, I actually get physically sick and I vomit. Whereas with normal marijuana, I don't get sick off it, and it does sit well in my body, and I'll just be there like this while I'm listening to Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd or even Caravanserai by Santana, man. What a trip indeed. Alrighty, here we go. Here's what the lyrics say. I come to you in a blue, blue room, by some abuse and some heart. You raise the blind, say, let's have light on life. Let's watch it fall apart, let's watch it fall apart. Nighttime flowers, evening roses, bless this garden that never closes. Treat her greatly, treat her kind. Tenderloin will last all night. I'm feeling hungry, have another line, so faith is taken up. You raise your eyes, say that's just like life. There's never quite enough, there's never quite enough. Nighttime flowers, evening roses, bless this garden that never closes. Treat her gently, treat her kind. Tenderloin will last all night. I come to you in a blue, blue room by some abuse and some heart. You raise the blinds to say, let's have light on life. Let's watch it fall apart. Let's watch it fall apart. Let's watch it fall apart. Now, if any of you remember, a little off topic here, if any of you remember back in January, we reviewed David Bowie's so-called cocaine album, Station by Station. I guarantee you he was probably taking a fuck ton of tenderloins. Probably was, you know. That's why they called him the Thin White Duke. More like the Thin White Puke. There, Nicholas, or Aegis, I said it. What are you gonna do about it? Let's see here. Alrighty, so we're almost at the end of the road, man. The last and final song for this is Debbie Denise is what it's called. This is another good song here. Not a fully strong song by any stretch, but it's a really good listenable tune here. Let's see here. No, I don't really have a whole lot to say about this song other than it's not exactly a strong song, but it's pretty good, to say the least. Hey, so you'd figure like with Blue Oyster Cult, they would have started very, like how they started this album very strong, they would have ended with something very strong as well. But sometimes it doesn't happen with a whole lot of albums, sadly. Alrighty, yeah, Genius says for about this song, it was originally first named To Remember Debbie Denise, and after being shortened to the actual title is the second single released for the album. It's a short story of a guy in a band whose faithful partner waits so patiently because she wants him around all the time, and it gets to the point that her life centers solely around her desire. He almost entirely neglects her and causes her to think the relationship is over. Yep, very sad indeed, man. Very, very sad. And of course, that's probably why a lot of these marriages and relationships, if you're with a musician or if you're musicians, it don't work out. Hell, that's what we saw with Jason Isbell and Amanda Shires, who headlined the 2023 Riverfest. I don't think that's shit's coming back anyway. And they both headlined that, and then 3 months later, they were divorced. And they basically said it was because of their schedules that they weren't able to really make things work out. And that's sad too. They were a pretty powerful couple even in those days, especially in the folk Americana scene. And yeah, that's scheduling and touring can really do that, Alrighty. It says here, she kept the light open all night long for me to come home and sing her my song. Oh, Debbie Denise was true to me. She'd wait by the window so patiently, and I'd come on home with my hair hanging down. She'd pin it up and softly smile. But I was out rolling with my band. I was out rolling with my band. I never realized that she was so undone. I didn't suspect she had no life of her own. She was so true, but she was a she. She was just there, and I would just come. Stumbling in, she'd show me she'd care. I didn't care because she was just there. And I was out rolling with my band. Yeah, I was out rolling with my band. I wouldn't come home for weeks at a time. She couldn't accept. She was free. Oh, Debbie Denise was true to me. She'd wait by the window so bitterly, wanting me to come close. I guess I noticed. I couldn't see, so what could I say? What more affection could I show her? I had only one thing on my mind. When I came to her, she'd pin back my hair, and out past the fields, out the window I stare. There were where I was out rolling with my band. Yeah, I was out rolling with my band. Yeah, I was out rolling with my band. 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 And that's pretty much it, folks. That is pretty much it for today's legit album review. All in all, this is a great album from beginning to end. There is not a single song that's skippable where you'd hate, where there's not one single song that you hate to where you have to skip one or two songs. This whole thing is so perfect to listen to from beginning to end. Obviously, give me a moment, folks. Obviously, of all of these songs, my most favorite one, obviously, is Don't Fear the Reaper at number 1. Number 2, This Ain't the Summer of Love. Number 3, The Revenge of Vera, Gemini. And number 4, Sinful Love. And there is actually not, because of the fact that there is not one single bad song on this album, I literally cannot pick what my most hated song or songs are on this. There is no way to do that. Like I pretty much said that Tenderloin and Debbie Denise were kind of weak, but they are still listenable. They're just, if I have to rate my favorite songs from my most favorite to my least favorite, Tenderloin and Debbie Denise would both be at the bottom of that list, but they are still very good in their own right. And it's because of the fact that this album was so enjoyable. I'm going to give this a perfect 10 out of 10 rating. It's so perfect, and I encourage all of you to give this full thing a listen, man. I really do. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this podcast episode. I want to say thank you all so much for watching and listening to today's podcast. If any of you have any topics that you want us to discuss here on this channel, and are you huge Blue Oyster Cult fans, and what are your favorite songs or albums from them? Leave all of it in the comments below. If you want to see more content from me, subscribe to the Roger Radio Show today. Hit the bell to be notified when I upload. Hit that thumbs up if you like the videos. And leave a comment of whatever, And also, while you're at it, folks, be sure to subscribe to the Intermission group and follow me on all of my social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Threads. The links to all of that will be in the description below. And also, are you an independent musician or band who wants to have their music promoted and to be interviewed? Reach out to me at rogerrhodes90@yahoo.com and let's get it rolling. Thank you all so much for watching this podcast. And as always, until next time, ta-ta for now!